Hi, I'm Amy Henderson. I'm a cultural historian here at the National Portrait Gallery. And I'm here today because I want to tell you about this wonderful portrait of the mezzo-soprano Marilyn Horne, one of the great voices of all time. Miss Horne came to the Portrait Gallery November 12th, 2009 to give us this wonderful portrait. It is depicting her as Adalgisa in Bellinis Norma, which was her debut role at the Metropolitan Opera in 1970. The artist was Foote. Now, Miss Horne was gracious enough the day she came to sit down with me and talk for a while about her life as a singer and her portrait. So, because you've done a lot before you made your Met debut.
A lot. I always, when I talk to my students, I say, now don't get antsy about this. I didn't make my debut at the Met until I was 36. And I had already been singing opera for 16 years. And they, are you really, right?
And you made wonderful debuts all over the world.
Well, I'd already been to Covent Garden, to La Scala was the year before. I made my debut in San Francisco Opera in 1960. And then Chicago, I think in 61. And I made my debut at Carnegie Hall in 61 with Joan.
Yeah.
We both made our debuts together. I always say that hers was much more awaited than mine. She was already the queen of the world.
Well, your voices went together so beautifully.
That's happenstance. That is nothing that we worked for.
But the art of bel canto.
Yeah, what I think we shared very much, either instinctively, because we had both sung all of our lives, or we had learned it along the way, was listening to the other person, really trying to make the sum bigger than the parts.
Right,
I had sung my whole life with my sister, and she had sung with her mother, and you know, we had a real feel for that togetherness, and the fact that our voices went together, that's just nature.
Right.
But you have to figure out how loudly you want to sing, how softly you want to sing, and you have to really listen. If the other person suddenly goes soft, you've got to react within an instant, really.
And that's something I'm sure you do with your students now, is to kind of convey that.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I don't sing with them though. I sing for them in my lessons. That's the only place I'm singing now. But I'm happy that mainly now that my voice is still there, that I can use it, for those things, and that I don't have to think how to teach them without demonstrating. Demonstrating is sometimes a lot easier.
Do you vocalize every day?
No. No, I've had enough of that.
Now, you've always sung a wide repertoire. I don't mean just,
lots of 12-tone music.
But on all kinds of music.
Went early on,
American Songbook.
Yeah, lots of Schoenberg, Weber, and Stravinsky, and my debut in the United States in the big time was Wozzeck. You can't get more 12-tone than that. But it was a great role, and thank God I was up to the challenge.
The language itself, it's just difficult.
Well, I lived in Germany then, and that actually was the last role that I sang in the contract that I had in a provincial opera house, Gelsenkirchen, Germany, which is in the Ruhr Valley. And it was lucky because, luck plays a big part in all of this. And the lady who was scheduled to sing Marie, and it was the West Coast premiere of Wozzeck.
Wow.
Everybody was dying to hear it, and Brenda Lewis was her name. She had to cancel due to surgery, and I was ready to step in.
Being ready to step in is a key component, I would guess.
Yeah, oh sure. Interestingly too, I went home then a couple of months before to marry Henry Lewis. No relation. Yeah.
And you did pop music too. You've done pop music a bit all the way?
Yeah, sort of on and off. Not really much when I was in the fury of my singing career, because I felt that singing too much would get my voice out of balance.
Ah.
And I felt I had to be careful.
Okay,
you know.
have you performed a bit more recently with, or sung with Barbara Cook?
Absolutely, yeah. But, you know,
It's a different kind of.
I can let it all hang out now. I'm not going to worry about the balance of my voice. I just want to get it right for singing our glorious classic pop that we have.
Right. Now, to the young singers today, they're being brought into singing a lot different way than the way we were brought into
It's
experiences.
so different. It's so different. There's so many aspects of it. For instance, when they do a new production, right? First of all, God knows what the production is going to be.
Yes.
They could make their entrance coming in upside down on a trapeze, you know. But, unfortunately, simulated sex is really getting big in the opera world. And it's just, for me, it's just disgusting and boring. And they also have long rehearsal periods for these geniuses to create these productions that we hate, mostly.
Have you seen the new Tosca?
I missed it. I only heard about it. Yes. I've been out of town a lot, so I couldn't go. But in my day, the longest we rehearsed for a new production was 3 weeks. Okay. Now it can be 8, 10, 12. Wow. I just heard actually yesterday that the House of the Dead that is about to be done at the Met, they started rehearsing in August.
How do young singers find the time? And
how do they manage to you're right. How do you afford that when you're taking those months out of your career? Maybe for 6 performances? 8, 10, I don't know how many they're doing, but usually when they do an opera like that, they don't put on as many performances as they do for Tosca.
Right. So that's even more complicated because, wow.
And well, I also wonder, I'm really slamming the directors today. What do these guys and gals, why do they need so much time to get inspired, Certainly, I was very, very interested in the dramatic aspects or the comic aspects of a role. I love acting on the stage. That was really a lot of fun. But we also thought about the singing a lot. And when I go to an opera now, I still want to hear fabulous singing.
Yes. I was going to ask you a separate question to let you talk about that a little bit more too, because it is to me the voices I care about. The others are nice, but it is the art of singing.
I love it when I go to the Met. I live a block from Lincoln Center, so I normally go a lot to the Met. I haven't been able to go much this season because I've been away working. But if I go and I suddenly hear a voice that sounds really fabulous and I'd not heard about this person, I sit up and I say, are my ears deceiving me? Do I hear a great new voice on the stage of the Met?
There's an interesting couple, Olga and Ilda. Right.
Adalgisa.
Yes.
Hilda. Oh, sure, I know.
They were in Washington doing a recital about a month ago.
Yeah.
And he's
fabulous.
Wonderful.
And she is too.
Yeah.
The first time I heard her was one of those things. Who is that? We were all in Bologna doing a big gala evening with Gergiev conducting, and all the forces of the Kirov were there. And she started to sing the aria from, Borodin, Pritzinger, and, and I turned my head and I said, who is that? And there was this tall, gorgeous blonde, and she was like 26 at the time, 25, and really, that's the thrill. Yes. And then, of course, I got to sing with Gergiev then, and he's become a very dear friend, and of course, he's just fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to take you downstairs.
Okay.
For the unveiling, for the press.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.